Right, so today I have interview with someone who was in the program for last 12 months, and his name is Bob. So welcome, Bob, to the call today. Can you tell a bit more about about your hair situation, about what you have been doing before you reach out to me, what did happen, and how things were back then?
Sure. Before the program, my hair loss was fluctuating. So there were good months, bad months. There was no real way to measure what was or wasn't working over the course of maybe 10 years. In terms of shedding, there was no control over it, and I was at the mercy of genetics and stressors in my life and
Right,
environment.
right,
So it was a constant cycle.
right. And before you reach out to me and join the program, what did you had tried before? Like, what was kind of your approach to the hair loss before you reach out to me?
I tried everything under the sun except a hair transplant. So minoxidil, finasteride hair oils,
Right.
supplements, foods, natural topical solutions. I was trying so many things at the same time that I never knew why something worked or didn't work. And usually, if it did work, the results would last only a few weeks.
Mm,
So my hair was getting more and more thin, patchy, and weak as time went on. And probably because the hair wasn't able to handle everything I was doing, and it was an overload for the hair environment and the follicles.
right. So when you say that it worked for a couple of weeks and then it stopped working, like, do you mean that it had the effect on the reducing the shed and then it shedding again increased, or was it that you did see some thickening effect or some reduced hair activity?
Yeah, the latter. It was regrowth and sometimes thickening, but
Mm,
at that time I wasn't really aware or monitoring the shedding aspect of it. So again, I was just putting things on my head and hoping that it would produce more hair. So I was more focused on regrowth. And
mm.
sometimes it worked, but a lot of other times it only lasted a few weeks.
Right. Okay, I see. So you had like those ups and downs for for how long before you actually kind of like your hair loss has been going on for 10 years, but you started to address how long into the hair loss? Like, was it like a 5 years into the hair loss that you start to address it, or shorter?
I would say I started to address it maybe like 2 years into it when I really
Mm,
started to notice it.
right. Right. I see. All right. And when it comes to reaching out to me and joining Rapid Regrowth program, like, what was kind of the reason that you decided that this was the right program for you? How do you knew that I would be able to help you with your hair loss?
Yeah, I decided to join the program because you tried everything I had done already. You attacked it with the holistic and comprehensive approach for more of a lasting solution. And you probably did that because you could get to the root cause. Every person needs a customized solution with a sequence, a specific sequence catered to their situation. And you know exactly how and what to do from the very beginning. And there's no shortcuts. And building a foundation is important. So that's one of the main things that you talked about first.
Mm,
And so that's the reason why, I'd done a lot of things, but didn't know how to basically put them all together to make it work for my situation specifically.
right. I see. And in terms of before you reached out to me, like, had you watched some of my YouTube videos before you actually joined the program, or was it like just on the spot you knew that this was the right thing for you?
Yeah, I had watched, actually, no, I only had watched one video and I knew immediately that you were kind of hitting all of the points. You knew my perspective, you knew everything I had tried, you knew it from start to finish, and I kind of just could tell that you had done there and been there before, and that's when I decided to join up.
Okay, got it. Before you did join program, like, what was your problems that you're having? Like, you would have I assume a lot of shedding, for example. I assume that could be a possible issue here. Then did you have, let's say, excessive oil or excessive sebum, for example, or itchiness or redness? Like, what else did you notice back then before you reached out to me?
Yeah, I noticed all the above. So there was hair loss, of course. The hair was
Mm.
thinning.
Yeah.
It was regrowing sometimes and sometimes not. So it was inconsistent. Hair was obviously falling out, although I didn't really realize or notice it too much. I was just focused on what can regrow my hair. Um,
Mm.
there was patchiness now, and so there's no consistency with it. Um, and so yeah, I mean, trying everything, at least 5 to 6 times, you begin
Mm.
to not understand what's working and what's not, and that's not, a good approach usually.
Right, I see. And in terms of online problems, like, was there also issues with your diet, for example, and food sensitivities before you reached out to me? Like, did you notice some patterns that you would have more shedding from time to time when you had different foods, different diet?
Specifically, no, I didn't know I had sensitivities or allergies or food would be a huge issue. And so again, that was another problem. Food was never addressed in my own life for hair or environmental factors, any of that. And so that's another holistic approach that you had that I never really thought about until this.
In terms of program itself and structure of it and action items, like because again there is a lot of things we had to work on. Like we worked on your scalp health, we worked on your hero cycle, your DHT sensitivity, on your diet, on your gut health. Like how did you found like the structure of the program itself? Like was it hard for you to implement and follow? Like what is your experience with it?
Yeah, in terms of challenges specifically in the program.
Yes, challenges and also structure of it, like in terms of action items that you need to implement, because sometimes some people, some guys, they feel that it is kind of too much to do right away. Like, how did you found the structure and the program I laid out for you?
Yeah, I mean, the structure of the program was phenomenal. There was not a single issue or problem that you didn't know how to answer. So removing the bad to make room for the good is very important for the hair. I'd say for every question, you had 3 to 4 different answers or solutions. And it's more like having a doctor because hair loss fundamentally is about every area of your health, which was interesting to understand with every level of the program. So it was never overwhelming. You know how to handle it when problems or issues would arise, and we would tackle it when the time came.
Hmm. Right. Okay. Awesome. All right. And in terms of like results you were able to achieve, and this is again your 12 months results. And as I told you in the beginning of the program, from your aggressive hair loss progression on how things were before you actually reach out to me and join the program, it will take around 24 months to reach the full potential. So I just want to clarify it that your results are not final results. Like there will still be more growth. And those are your current pictures, right? Well,
Yep, absolutely. So after 12 months, I'd say results are 10 out of 10 for what I could achieve and what was possible. We've been able to fully regrow the whole entire scalp from hair density, regrowth, and thickness.
mm,
All of the areas are filling up quite nicely. Way less shedding there than before, and you cannot tell that there was any hair loss really. And every month there's been, significant improvement since we started. And
mm,
more importantly, overall health has dramatically improved, which has been a great addition that I was not expecting.
right. And how do you notice it? Like, do you notice that you have more energy, or do you notice that you have more productivity or less stress? Like, what kind of additional benefits you do notice?
Yeah, all the above. It's less fatigue, no need for even a nap, just energy through the
Mm,
roof. Workouts have been phenomenal. Clarity has been there. Working, taking clients and working has been easy enough.
right.
So every area has been improved because of the food along with the hair. regime that we had to tackle. So
Right. In terms of your lifestyle approach, because again, in the program, we do have a lot of things for lifestyle to do, like, for example, workouts, for example, doing things such as sauna, and, for example, cold showers. Like, how are you having them continuously in your structure until to this day, like during the whole 12 months? Like, is it something that you still continue to follow and you find it easy to keep it in your daily structure?
yeah, I think results are the most important. Lifestyle is the most important and it outweighs everything else. So sometimes you have to sacrifice to make room for other things, but it's usually better things. And so when you remove the bad in your life, then you can make room for all of the good and the benefits of the good, and being able to control it, it outweighs any sacrifice, small sacrifice that you would potentially make. And so, yeah, all of it is worth it in the end, and it only benefits you yourself. And I think that's the most important thing.
Right. Yes. No, that's great, Bob. Like, your results are phenomenal. Like, for this kind of short time frame of 12 months, like, you are halfway through it, right? Like, next 12 months, I think you will be able to improve even more what you have been able to gain. So, like, there is great results on the amazing recovery. But I would say definitely there is even more possibilities for improvement. So, like, you can see values here in your temple area, for example, which is always a good sign that things can improve even more. So,
Yeah, best is yet to come. There's a lot of momentum now. And now once your hair is able to receive everything, and it actually work the way it's supposed to function, whatever you're doing to help your hair, then it's just a matter of time now. There's no ups and downs. So it's a straight path up the mountain. And so again, it's just a matter of time. Best is yet to come. And yeah, it's, second year is going to absolutely be better than the first year.
right. On just a couple of things that I think a lot of guys kind of want to know about when you actually are getting the results like this. Like, how is your daily hair shedding? Like, what amount of shed you see now compared to before?
Oh, it's very minimal. It's not something I noticed before the program, but once I noticed it, there was a lot, and there was a lot of sensitivities that triggered it as well. And so understanding that there was a lot in the first place was probably the most important part. And it was very frequent, and it was easy for the hair to shed. And now it's extremely minimal, and you can count the amount of hairs that would potentially fall out each day, and you can count them on
Mm,
your hand, on one
right.
hand.
Right. Okay. Awesome. On your scalp itself, like, you don't have any itchiness anymore, any like excessive sebum, for example, like those things are gone now, right?
Yeah, all those things are gone. The environment for the hair is it's like a garden, and so it
Mm,
has a a healthy environment now for it to grow, and that requires removing the sebum, the oil, all of the bad things that got in the way before, and so those are non-issues now.
All right. On the other things that I'm quite sure guys would also wonder about, like when you now lose the hair, let's say you see the hair, let's say you wash your hair or you comb your hair and you see it fall out, what kind of endings they would have? Like, what kind of ends would be to the hair?
What kind of ends?
Yes, correct. Yeah, like, when for example the hair strands falls down, it can sometimes some hair strands will have a bulb to it. Sometimes it would be different color to the bulb. Sometimes it will have a sharp ending, or a small dot. Like, what do you notice? Do you notice anything specific now compared to before of the hair that fall out of the
I
hair
don't
strands?
notice anything specific. The only thing I notice is the amount, because
Mm,
before it was a lot and now it's very little to none.
all right. Okay. Awesome. And when you go to the barber and get a haircut, Bob, like I assume it's the same barbers that you go to, right?
Yeah, he's pretty surprised.
Mm,
Um, he's kind of confused, but in a good way. Who's wondering and curious about, the hair. He commented on the thickness of it,
right.
and hairstyles also change when you start growing or regrowing hair. So these are just natural progressions, pretty cool things that you get to see along the way.
Right. In terms of progress, like how long into the program, like when you first started out, what was the first big win for you? Like what are the first big wins that you noticed in the programs that you knew that this is going in the right direction?
Yeah, I think it was the lack of shedding.
Shedding.
And yeah, the lack of shedding, the awareness of shedding first, and then the lack of shedding, and then the ability to regrow in the first 3 months. I think that was a really good sign. And attacking things from all angles, I think, was another good sign. There was nothing that we were missing. It seemed like that we're not addressing even things that I wouldn't even think of. So I think from that angle, from a comprehensive and holistic approach, from removing the bad stuff in the beginning to making room for the good, all in the first 3 months, were all a good sign.
All right, awesome. And in terms of in terms of the challenges, like did you have any challenges during the program, like during those 12 months you were in the program?
Challenges in the program came because I was unaware of all the harmful things in our diets, environments, social settings and gatherings that can trigger hair problems. And so when you're traveling, when you're, having events, social gatherings, things like that, you usually are not mindful or aware of things. So that was the biggest challenge. It wasn't the challenge of, avoiding anything, because you're not going to avoid anything, but it was the challenge. It was a good challenge. It was a fun challenge to learning the root cause of hair loss from every angle and perspective, so you can be prepared going into some of those environments and educated on your own hair specifically. And so the challenge would just be foreseeing things that could potentially happen
Yeah.
in your life, and how to best prepare yourself and put yourself in a situation where your results are not just gonna, dwindle, they're not gonna reverse, but you can continue to have results.
All right. Okay, awesome. So yes, Bob, like what would you say to someone who being having similar situations you are having with this kind of hair loss? Like what would you say to him if he is someone who is looking for alternatives to find out how to solve this problem?
For anyone that will not accept defeat for hair loss and needs a permanent solution, this is a no-brainer. You know, Alex is an expert that understands every angle of hair loss. Alex has done all of the hard work himself, so he could help you do the same. If you are disciplined, committed, and consistent, there should be no question in your mind to work with Alex. I've never asked Alex something that he didn't already experience himself and have a great answer and solution for. He knows exactly where you have been and will get you to a place where you didn't know you could go.
All right, awesome, Bob. So that's great. Thank you for all the insights. Thank you for yeah doing this interview with me. It does help a lot. It does give awareness for the guys to see that it is possible to recover from this problem. It is possible to get amazing results. And your inspiration, Bob. Like I think a lot of guys who have had this kind of problem in this kind of situations, they would just give up on it. Like they would shave it off and not do anything about it. But you actually did take action. You didn't give up on it, and you continued to fight it. And now you have results. Like you have a very nice recovery, and your hair looks amazing. So
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.